My name's Jason Jarrett. I'm an exercise scientist and an exercise physiologist. Every injury is unique and every fitness goal is unique. Work with me and you'll get the professional direction you need with your situation. Hi guys, I'd like to welcome you back to another episode with yours truly, MethodWorks Physiology. Today we're going to talk about this. So if you're a current client of mine or a future client, you'll see some future version of this booklet just released today. This is going to be amazing. So a bit of a game changer. Now, what is this workbook? I'm probably going to make it available to non-clients in the future for a significant fee. This thing is jam-packed with value. Now, this is the sort of thing I always wanted before I was qualified, when I had, this is as much for personal training clients as it is for clinical exercise physiology clients, because it's about lifestyle change. Like I was saying, this is the sort of thing I wanted before I became qualified. I just wanted to know what activities I could do, how I could learn the things I needed to learn. It seemed as though there were no professionals out there that could simplify things for me. So that's what this is. The workbook pulls together. It starts with my vision and philosophy, because I think that's important. As I'm sure I've mentioned in a previous video, vision, philosophy. I'm the one that you've signed up with. I'm the one that you're coming to see. To see. So to a certain extent, what I'm doing is pretty important, isn't it? My philosophy and my mission is probably pretty important. I go through what to expect, and this might seem basic, and to some people it might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how often what people expect is different from what I can or will provide. And in fact, there's something that came up today with one of my great clients. Let's call her Abby, because that's her name. So Abby said to me, we've only got 45 minutes together. I'm thinking, can we make it 60 minutes, because I just feel like the intensity is not there. Well, that's a really good question, and it's in the workbook. Why do your first 3 to 4 sessions not feel particularly intense? Through design. It's deliberate. They shouldn't feel too intense. It's really important that we have at least a short period of time where you and I are getting used to each other, particularly for me, to get used to what your limitations and your boundaries are. I'm familiarizing myself with your injuries, with your strength, with your technique. Now, there's so much for me to go through, and that's one of the main reasons I started this video series. There's so much that I can talk about and go through. I could talk for hours, and it's so difficult for me to convey what I need to convey in 45 minutes while you're exercising, in between rest breaks, while watching your technique and deciding how much. There's so much to do, guys. So there's so much to get through, particularly in the first 4 weeks. It's a lot I need you to understand and expect, and I'm trying to address your nutrition as well. And are you coming in by yourself? How are you doing the program? How are you finding it? What do you like? What do you hate? Guys, if I saw you every day, I probably wouldn't have to do this video series. So I hope you appreciate that. So the first 4 sessions are very much getting a feel for each other. For my clients who are past the 4-session point, or well past that point, you'll know this. You'll know through retrospect how the intensity builds between weeks, or session 4 to session 8. There's usually a big increase during that period. Now that depends. Have you been doing your homework? Have you been working out by yourself? If not, I'm not going to come down hard on you. That's part of what we've got to work out together. How can we help you to get motivated to do what you need to do to get the best results? So, just a little bit on what to expect when you start with me. Now, I've got, for newcomers to exercise, I don't usually do this for people who have been around the block a few times, who are a little bit more advanced, but the Back on Track is a miniaturized version in here so that you've got everything in one place. We have the daily vision exercise is in there, and I've got a progression pathway. So this is a little chart that shows you what stages we're going to take you through, what stages to expect. Guys, if you haven't figured it out already, I'm a pretty organized person, okay? But the problem is, you might not realize that when we rock up to session together and we go through stuff and I explain stuff. You might not realize how much is going on behind the scenes. I hope these videos help you to understand that. I hope the workbook helps you to understand that. So there's a lot of planning and preparation I do before our sessions, and that's a matter for another time. But there's a progression pathway. You start at stage 1, unless you've been training for a while. It'll start you at a higher stage. You start at stage 1, introductory, and then it goes from there, essentially, but it's in the workbook. We've got an exercise programmer, which is what a majority of my clients come to me for. What they think they need the most is an exercise program. Exercise program is important, but I'd argue it's probably not the most important thing, and it's not that difficult to put together, truth be told, once I've got a feel for your technique and your rhythm, basically. The most important thing is motivation. Because if you don't have your motivation, nothing else really matters. And that's why I love having you clients in front of me who already have motivation. You're great. You're already coming in, you can do the thing, boom. That's great. But I'm here for those who don't have motivation, of course. So that's our job, is to figure out how can we help get you that motivation, which I discussed in a previous video. Go check it out. I'm clicking a lot today. So I've got a section on when you're by yourself, how do you progress the weights? Jason, I don't know what to do. Like, you gave me this exercise. Okay, we're doing squats, 3 sets, 15 reps, 10 kilograms. But then what? I have shown you then what in this material. I can always break this stuff down further, guys. Just be sure that you're commenting on the videos or giving me feedback in session, and I can make more videos. I've got a food diary here. I've got nutrition change activity for how to make those initial steps towards changing your nutrition. I've got a lifestyle chart which maps things like stress control, anxiety, sleep, nutrition, motivation. All of this stuff's super important for how likely it is that you'll be able to make a change. And there might be some factors, for example, sleep's pretty important. If you are exercising but you're not getting enough sleep, we've got something to address. We've got taking responsibility, or what I call above or below the line thinking. This one's going to be key. Now we've got a pretty big section, quite a lengthy written section. I didn't want it to be that lengthy, but I didn't want to cut anything valuable out either. So this is where the cognitive, if I can pronounce it, this is where the cognitive behavioral therapy comes in, guys. So it's about identifying the negative thoughts that we have about exercise, about nutrition, about rehabilitation, anything like that. We all have negative thoughts. Sometimes we generalize. Sometimes we label ourselves. Oh, like, I'll never be that good. I'm a this or I'm a that. Sometimes we engage in all these negative thought patterns, which you can read about. So there's a journaling activity which you can go through if you're keen to. I strongly recommend everyone do it. I've done it. So not necessarily with exercise, but with other things. If you journal any non-constructive thoughts, destructive thoughts, I guess that would be. So if you journal any of those sorts of thoughts down, then you can go back and start to identify the negative thought patterns and tell yourself, I was overgeneralizing, or I was catastrophizing, or I was mind reading, assuming you know what someone else is thinking. That's something I've suffered from in the past. You'll notice in session, I'm annoying. You might notice here if you've never met me. No, it's true. But what I mean, let me elaborate before you agree, okay? So I'm always asking, it's not any one of you, I'm not singling anyone out, because everybody, I'm always saying to all of my clients, How'd everything go? Did you like everything? Did you hate anything? Is there any issues? Is there anything I have to explain? Tell me. I'm almost like needing validation. Tell me if there's anything wrong, please, guys. Don't go away angry. Or if you're not seeing results, I had a client today. That's what I started to. So I had a client today. She was, like I started to tell earlier, she was questioning, I've only got 45 minutes, like the intensity. And I had to explain to her about that whole thing where the first 4 sessions they are quite easy, but building in intensity. And that's why your expectations are important, that we have to set your expectations. So I failed to set her expectations when it came to how we will build intensity. Difficult to do with everyone and make sure you don't miss anything. That's part of the goal of the workbook. So that's why I'm annoying. That's one of my excuses, is that I want to make sure that you're getting the best possible experience from our time together. You're getting results. People were coming to me for results, but we can't get your results unless you're doing the work. If you're not doing the work, we have to figure out why you're not doing the work. If you're not feeling motivated, we have to figure out how to get you motivated. We just have to keep digging, and it can get a little, it can get a little bit psychological, as you probably already noticed, but so guys, always tell me, just be direct with me. I love my direct clients. Like the client I had today, she was just direct. She said, I just don't understand why we're not doing more intense. This doesn't seem, I'm questioning the intensity. So I appreciate that. I said to her, look, thank you for telling, I appreciate better that you tell me there's something you're either unhappy with or that you don't understand, or why are we doing this or that? Then I can at least explain it to you, or we might be able to modify something to bring it in line with what you're expecting or wanting. So guys, that's the workbook in summary. Lots of work has gone into it. On the back, there's a list of apps that I recommend. Apps that I've personally been using for years with either myself or with clients. They're fantastic. So lots of work's gone into this. It's your new exercise Bible, okay? It's your new religion, really. The MethodWorks workbook is a new religion. So read it, study it, sleep with it under your pillow even. Sleep with it under your pillow, and if you have any questions, write it down in the section where there's a note section so you can bring in your questions. Bring this into the gym with you, whether you're with me or without me. This is under your arm every time you walk through the door. Excellent. Well, I hope that all makes sense, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in session.